track and field were done. I'm not exaggerating. After Usain Bolt retired in 2017, the sport became a ghost town. We had fast runners, sure, but we had no stars, no drama, no reason to care. The Tokyo Olympics were run in empty, silent stadiums. It was sterile, it was boring. Then a loudmouth American decided to light a match. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to be hated. He realized that in the modern world, being the fastest man alive doesn't matter if nobody is watching. So he hacked the system. He declared war on the NBA. He painted his nails. He pulled out Yu-Gi-Oh cards before Olympic finals. He begged for a villain, and the universe gave him one. But it wasn't the villain he expected. It was a ghost. A man who runs with the initials of his deceased mother on his fingernails. A man who doesn't speak. A man who looked at the loud American's entire empire and tore it down in 19.46 seconds. This is the story of Noah Lyles versus Letsile Tebogo, the fire and the ice, the rivalry that forced the world to look at the track again. If you think Lyles is just an arrogant showboat, or if you think Tebogo is just a quiet kid from Botswana, you are missing the point. You are watching an entire narrative of a sport being written in real time. But before we get to the race that broke the internet, hit that subscribe button. We are decoding the biggest rivalries in sports history, and you don't want to miss the next breakdown. To understand why millions of people hate-watched the Paris Olympics, we have to go back to Budapest 2023. Noah Lyles is sitting in a press conference. He could have given a boring answer about training or diet. Instead, he dropped a linguistic bomb on American sports culture. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong, I love the US at times, but that ain't the world. Boom. He insulted the NBA, he insulted the NFL, he attacked the idea of American exceptionalism, the belief that if you win a ring in America, you rule the globe. Kevin Durant, Drake, Draymond Green, megastars who usually pretend track and field doesn't exist, were suddenly in the comments section. Durant said, "Somebody help this brother." Drake said the whole league didn't rate him. Most people saw a guy running his mouth. Lyles saw a marketing funnel. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was punching up. He forced giants to acknowledge an ant. By making the NBA hate him, he guaranteed that every basketball fan in America would tune into the Olympics just to see him lose. He adopted the persona of the heel. In pro wrestling terms, that's the bad guy you pay to see get beaten. He leaned into it. He started aiming for the blurred demographic, black nerds. He flashed an Exodia card at the trials. He did the Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha pose. He was telling the world, "I am the main character." He even volunteered to be the villain in the Netflix series Sprint. He let the cameras see his arrogance. He let them film him saying he wants to be the face of the sport. He created a hate-watch dynamic. He built a stage where he was the only actor that mattered. But then, tragedy struck in Botswana. While Lyles was building his media empire, Tebogo is the anti-Lyles. They call him Schoolboy. He's from Kanye, Botswana. He trained without fancy equipment. He doesn't scream, he doesn't dance. In May 2024, just months before the biggest race of his life, his mother, Siratiwa, passed away. She wasn't just his mom, she was his everything. She was at every race. Tebogo admitted later that he thought it was the end of his career. He wanted to quit. The grief was paralyzing. But he didn't quit. He turned the grief into fuel. He painted her initials on his nails. He wrote her date of birth on his spikes. Lyles was running for fame. Tebogo was running for a ghost. And this is where the rivalry gets interesting. It's not just two fast guys, it's a clash of philosophies. Lyles believes that if you don't have main character energy, track is boring. He thinks he needs to scream to make you care. Tebogo believes the legs should do the talking. Lyles is the fire. He burns bright, he's loud, he consumes all the oxygen in the room. Tebogo is the ice. He is terrifyingly still. Before the races in Paris, the contrast was cinematic. Lyles would run down the track like a WWE wrestler entering the ring, hyping the crowd, screaming at the cameras. Tebogo, he stood there, head down, looking at nothing, a statue. The stage was set. The loud American versus the grieving African son. The NBA hater versus the silent assassin. And in Paris, everything exploded. Act 1 of this battle was the 100 meters. Lyles had to put a target on his back the size of Texas. If he lost the race, after all, it didn't end in Paris. It mutated. First, Tebogo flexed his range. In the 4x400 meter relay, he ran a split of 43.04 seconds. That is the second fastest split in Olympic history. It proved he wasn't just a sprinter, he was a genetic anomaly. But the 2025 season turned into a traveling roadshow, a revenge tour. Lyles took time off to heal. Critics said he was dodging Tebogo. So Lyles picked the Monaco Diamond League for his return. He told the press, "I put myself in the fire for that one." Lyles was drawn in lane 7, Tebogo in lane 6. Lyles was running blind. He couldn't see his rival. He didn't care. Lyles won in 19.88 seconds. Tebogo was second. Then they went to Zurich. Lyles won again, 19.74 to 19.76, a margin of 0.02 seconds. Lyles was proving a point. Paris was a glitch. Paris was the virus. When I am healthy, I am the king. The final blow came at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, the site of his failure in 2021. Lyles stormed to his 4th consecutive world title in 19.52 seconds. He tied Usain Bolt's record. Tebogo finished 4th. But the dynamic had changed. After the race, Lyles did something fascinating. He didn't trash talk Tebogo, he coached him. "I see you want to showboat. Just do it. It's you. Don't be scared. It makes you so much more fun to compete against." Lyles was begging him, "Be a character." Lyles knows the truth. He knows that for track to survive, it needs a Batman and a Joker. It needs fire and ice. He knows that a silent rival is boring. He is trying to produce the sport in real time. So, did they save track? Look at the numbers. The world champion debate Lyles started, it never died. When Team USA basketball won in Paris, they tweeted, "Are we the world champions now?" Trolling a track athlete. Think about that. The NBA, a billion-dollar entity, was petty enough to beef with a sprinter. That proves Lyle won. He rented space in their heads. NBC's prime audience jumped 82%, streaming was up 40%. Tebogo signed massive deals with De Beers Diamonds and DLA Piper. He's changing the economy of African athletics. They expanded the map. It's no longer just the US and Jamaica, it's the US versus Africa. It's the West versus the South. Lyle provided the content. He made track memeable for TikTok. He gave the casual fan someone to hate. Tebogo provided the class. He gave the purists someone to love. He made track respectable. They are the perfect ecosystem. And the craziest part? They actually like each other. In Tokyo, Lyles rented out a venue for an after-party to propose to his girlfriend. Who was on the guest list? Letsile Tebogo. Tebogo said later that it was nice to just be normal human beings. They understand the game. They know they need each other. Lyles needs Tebogo to push him to 19.5 seconds. Tebogo needs Lyles to sell the tickets. We spent years looking for the next Usain Bolt. We wanted one man to save the sport. We were wrong. One man wasn't enough. We needed competition. We needed the noise and the silence. We needed the villain and the ghost. Track isn't dead anymore. It's just getting started for LA 2028. Who do you think wins in LA? The aging King Lyles or the rising Emperor Tebogo? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel. I'll see you in the next one.